What's going on, guys? Aaron here. Welcome to the video. So Michael Saylor and Donald Trump, if you are a Bitcoin holder, really crazy what they just did. So I want to talk about this story right here. This is Michael Saylor saying that Bitcoin is going to compound at 30% per year for the next 20 years. But first, we have Trump's media and technology group filing a registration statement for $2.3 billion of debt and equity, aiming to establish a Bitcoin treasury. So why is this important? Well, again, the president is establishing a Bitcoin treasury. Now, this is not the United States creating its own Bitcoin reserve and buying Bitcoin, but it's still pretty close. This is the president buying Bitcoin. And then we have Trump's Truth Social taking steps towards launching a Bitcoin ETF. So that's all pretty huge. Before I get into Michael Saylor and what he's doing, we have Congressman Thomas Massie introducing a bill to audit the U.S. gold reserve. Well, here it is. They want to audit the U.S. gold reserves. This could have huge implications for the price of gold and Bitcoin if it does not come out accurate as to what they tell us the amount of gold is that they have. All right, so this is Saylor, believing that Bitcoin will compound at 30% per year. Let me just play this for you guys.
The last 6 months have been tremendous. All of the fundamental planets have aligned. Bitcoin's been acknowledged as the one digital commodity in the world by the administration. The banking regulators have given a green light to bank Bitcoin. The accountants have upgraded the accounting to fair value accounting. There's been a surge of Bitcoin treasury companies. There's like 100 public companies or more that are holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet.
Yeah, so just to pause, I mean, it's true. The last couple months have been huge. So how Bitcoin is treated on public companies' balance sheets, that has changed for the positive for Bitcoin. All of these Bitcoin treasury companies, which I'm a little bit skeptical, or I don't know. I think a bubble could be forming here, especially if Bitcoin drops 70-80%. But the alternative is maybe if so many companies are holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet, maybe they will collectively not sell, and therefore the price won't correct 80%.
It used to be we're focused on the halvings, but at this point, the entire natural supply of Bitcoin is only 450 Bitcoin available for sale every day. That's sort of about $50 million a day at this level. That is all being consumed by the Bitcoin treasury companies, and the Bitcoin ETFs are coming on strong.
Yeah, so all the Bitcoin that's available every day is being consumed by these Bitcoin treasury companies that are looking to acquire more and more and more Bitcoin. It's quite an interesting time. Again, will this just skyrocket the price of Bitcoin to millions of dollars very quickly? Or will we see a crash? You know what I mean? I got to say, I'm a little bit in between, but let's continue here.
My forecast in July of last year in Nashville was Bitcoin's going to appreciate 29% a year on average for the next 21 years. And that moves it from, it was about mid-60s, 65,000 to 13 million a coin in the year 2045.
All right, 13 million a coin in the year 2045. That was where he previously saw it.
I'm getting more bullish on that forecast, but I'm certainly comfortable forecasting 30% a year ARR on average.
So 30% a year, I was actually wrong when I said $5 million here. It's actually a lot more than $5 million in the next 20 years.
I think Bitcoin's up 57% a year for the past 4.5 years. Again, that's double the Mag 7, that's quadruple the S&P. That's 8 times real estate, and bonds are down 4%.
It is crazy, and he is right. The fact that Bitcoin has been outperforming literally everything, literally every other asset class, Bitcoin has been crushing. Just today, I posted Coinbase has a new video right here. It's a really cool video talking about how homes are getting cheaper in the price of Bitcoin, even though home prices are getting more expensive in US dollars, really just showing the impact of monetary debasement and the increasing price of Bitcoin. Here we have Tim Burchett trying to codify Trump's strategic Bitcoin reserve executive order into law. That's huge, right? He is trying to get this whole Bitcoin reserve into law and start acquiring the Bitcoin that everybody wants them to acquire, right? Here, Bitcoin has spent 30 consecutive days above 100K. First time that's ever happened. Video of Trump. He said if we have a good Fed chair, we'd lower rates, borrow long-term at longer rates. And if inflation comes back, raise the rates later. We're stuck with short-term debt at high rates because Biden didn't lock in long-term. If we had a smart Fed chair, we'd be refinancing now. And he says he already has a pick for the new Fed chair, which I believe he'll probably announce soon, but maybe next year, who knows. He's been public, Trump has been public about how he doesn't think that Jerome Powell is doing a good job. He thinks they should lower rates and he shouldn't be so concerned about inflation. But I think Powell was waiting to see what was going to happen with all the tariff stuff, right? And now that's kind of settled down for the most part. Obviously, things can escalate, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Lower rates would be great for Bitcoin. It'd be great for essentially everything, every risk asset. But who knows the games being played behind the scenes, the motives that people are actually having, very complicated. And taking a look at the price of Bitcoin, so we saw Bitcoin recover from the whole Elon Trump stuff that happened not too long ago, literally like 2 days ago. Bitcoin was around 106. It dropped down to like 100, and now we're back up to $105,000 as of me recording this video. So as always, like I shared in that video, I'm like, don't worry about these. Don't worry about anything other than just accumulating more coins that you love. Could be Bitcoin, could be other altcoins that you believe in. And all this other political stuff, it's just noise. It's just noise. And at the end of the day, it really does not matter. And over on BTCC, you can actually check out the exact same charts as TradingView. So Bitcoin is down around 5%, 5 to 6% from the all-time high. Taking a look at other coins, we have Solana, which is hovering around that $150 mark. Not too long ago, it was around 183. We saw a pullback basically from most altcoins. And taking a look at XRP. So XRP, I've been talking about for a while that this $2 mark is a really solid level of support. And anytime we touch or even get close to it, we just bounce right off, right? Other than this dip we saw when the entire market went down, XRP has been doing very, very well. Take a look at Avalanche really quick. Also, this support level has been holding for quite a while, like I've been talking about. Same with Chainlink, just a lot of action in this range. And if you are a trader and you want to play with leverage or any of that stuff, just be very, very safe. I only suggest leverage if you are a pro. And if you want to pick up a sizable sign-up bonus, BTCC is a great place to do it. BTCC is offering up to 10%, up to $10,055 per user. You can check out my link below for that. So just final thoughts. I think that Elon Musk is going to publicly come out to be very, very pro-Bitcoin very soon, especially after what just happened with Trump, essentially not agreeing to increase the debt and being very vocal about that. And even like nuking his net worth by $30 billion in a day because he came out against Trump. It's crazy, right? I think he's going to get very vocal on Bitcoin because it's important that, you know, people realize that Bitcoin is a solution. In 2021, he was huge on Dogecoin. I think he's going to mature and just say, hey, let's just go full Bitcoin now. I could be wrong, though, but I have a feeling he's going to do that. And, you know, when he comes out and he's like full Bitcoin man, when you can start buying Teslas again for Bitcoin or with Bitcoin, when he stops talking about Dogecoin and is just like, hey, guys, we got to get on a Bitcoin standard. We need to fix the money here. I think that's going to be very, very impactful for the price of Bitcoin. So guys, that is it for the video. Hope you're well. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.